So is that like just for men on the sides and natural? Oh, hi everybody. Welcome to Serious Shenanigans. I'm your host, Valerie Lorraine, and this over here is Clinton Ford. Here's our producer. So welcome to the show. We have a wonderful guest. Her name is M.K. Stabley, and she is an author of three books, and she does some other stuff too. So we're going to find out all about that tonight. Very excited to be hosting somebody who's an author as an avid reader.
So tell me about your guest, Valerie.
Well, I can't tell you too much, or else like you wouldn't watch the show. You'd be behind the scenes sleeping or
I
something.
I'd watch the show. I probably
I
would. Maybe is she boring?
no, I don't think she's boring. I think that you're gonna really enjoy her.
Val, I'm tired. She might be
I
just.
still think,
She might just be like the icing on the cake to put me to sleep.
well, you know what? I'm like, I don't think so, but we can challenge that because we'll know if you don't do your due diligence behind the scenes. We'll figure that out pretty quick.
I'm intrigued though. So from what I understand, she writes murder mysteries. It's amazing. You grow up, and you used to hang in the library when you were a kid and read the Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew, and everybody likes the all. Well, I guess I would be more like into Tom Clancy now, but he doesn't do murder mysteries. He's always doing this government stuff and all
I
that. But
know, right?
I'm intrigued because we're gonna understand the mind. We're gonna get this mind today, right?
I know. I got some great questions.
Okay. Well,
Ready?
without further ado,
Hey, welcome.
Hi.
Oh, I can be heard this week. I love
Yes,
it. Good, good, good. So, MK Stabley, welcome to our show. Thank you so much for affording us some of your time.
absolutely. I'm excited to do it.
I know we've known each other like acquaintance style for I think like 2 years or better
At
now, right?
least. Yep. Yep. Yep.
Isn't that is so awesome. And we finally get to connect.
Finally got to connect.
It's about time.
Yeah, I was thrilled to be able to do it. So,
Oh, that's excellent. So, we want to know who is the sweet and friendly person we have come to know as MK Stabley.
who am I? I'm a
Mhm.
jack of all trades.
I've noticed.
Yeah, yeah, besides writing, which by the way, I didn't start writing till I'm 52. So, my 4 books that I've written have been done in the last 3 years.
Okay.
So, yeah. And then I also have, I took on more of like I was getting kind of blocked with the writing.
hmm
So I decided to go towards my other things that I like to do, which is crafting. I love designing jewelry. And I started designing pens and wine stoppers and letter openers. And I love, the new cool hats that they have now, the cowboy hats that they design with the feathers and everything, all that kind of stuff. So I've been doing all that kind of stuff, right? Like the last probably year.
Yeah,
So
it's
I
so
just
much
kind of
fun to
do
watch.
everything. Yeah.
It's really fun to watch all your products coming up. I'm loving it.
Yeah. I get kind of keep going at it,
hmm
and the last couple months though, I've been kind of not doing much of anything except I have a new baby, a puppy.
I
She's
see.
2 months or 4 months old today.
hmm
So I've been kind of busy with her, and my writing has actually gotten off you know, I haven't written
No.
anything in probably 2 months. And I have
Well, your
two
fans
books
are
that I
gonna
was working on.
your fans are gonna be hounding you soon enough, so
Right.
you'll come back.
Yeah. When's it coming out? When's it coming out?
hmm Well,
Yeah.
puppies are busy times, right?
They
So
are. take a lot of attention, and my husband works from home.
Mm,
So, I have to keep her occupied all
right.
day, because he's in meetings and stuff. So, yeah, she and I are you know, we kind of do our own
There's
thing all day long.
right. Ah.
But she's
All
great.
right. See you. Oh, she's very cute. She's
Thank you.
adorable. So you've told us that you're an author. You've got some books. You've got some books that are like on hold, getting ready to go out. Tell us about your books.
My first three books, they're part of a series which I call the Eva St. mystery series. My first book, A Killer Cut, is set in Ohio, which is where I used to live. And
Okay.
I worked inside a salon at the time. I was managing a salon, and the building was probably about 100 years old where the salon was. And that's kind of where I got the idea of that first book. There's just too much, um, you know, uh, fodder, if you want to call it that.
Hmm.
There's just too much that you can do. You can think of so many different ideas. Um, the gossip that hear in a salon, but I kind of took it a little bit further. There was an alley in the back where I would, take the garbage and a rusted out wrought iron fire escape. And I'm like, at night, I went back there, took the garbage back there, and I'm like, yeah, this is where it's going
Yeah.
to happen. And I literally freaked out one of the stylists when I said that in her ear. I kind of whispered in her ear. I said, yeah, this is where it's going to happen. And she's like, oh my God. She's like, I'm never coming back out here again.
That's awesome.
I'm like,
And
I'm
I'm the
sorry. I'm
same kind of
sorry.
person. I'd be like, no, I'm never taking the garbage out again.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm sorry.
Mhm.
So yeah, I started writing that while I was working there. And Ava is kind of based off my personality.
Okay.
Okay. Ava has except Ava has sort of um a sketchy past, sort of. Um she was born in Connecticut, and her family they're witches.
Mhm.
So she has kept that part of her kind of, um, I would say, in the box. She's married
Okay.
now, has children. Her husband knows of her past, but she didn't want anything to do with, that side of her. So she kept that locked up. So she works at this salon, and uh, she comes across a dead body in the back when she opens the salon, and they're accusing her boss of killing, the lady and this kind of thing, and she knows that she didn't do it. She just has that feeling that she didn't do it, and she kind of goes into her own um, ways of finding out who did it. So she kind of opens Pandora's box again,
Hmm.
and her husband's not too happy about her opening that part of her, but he gets it. That she wants to help her friend and her boss, because basically they're accusing her of the murder because this lady and her had a fight the day before.
Hmm.
So yeah, so she has some unorthodox ways of finding things out. So that's kind of the premise of that, and she goes through, her past. So you get a whole. She thinks back to the last part of her history of being a witch with her family and stuff like that. So you get that history of her family and why she stopped, wanting to have anything to do with um, her heritage.
Ooh,
So yeah, it's a whole
so interesting. I'm
it's a
so
whole
excited.
thing. And so her husband, Chris, who
Hmm.
is loosely based off my husband, Chris.
Ah!
He goes, there's one part, I mentioned there's like a chase in this book, and my husband drove an Audi S5. And he goes, really? You couldn't give me an R8? I'm like, it's a book.
Yeah,
How about the next one? Do I get the R8 in the next one?
you gave him my name. Can I not have the car I want?
Right? Can I not have the car I want? I'm like, sorry. Maybe next time,
That's
So
awesome.
yeah, so that was the first book. You kind of get her history. She comes kind of into her own. She wants to be that strong person. She can do anything herself. She doesn't need help, from her husband. He's very overprotective, which she gets because he loves her so much. They're just that kind of couple, and so he ends up asking a friend, his old roommate from college, who happens to be an FBI agent, can I borrow some equipment? My wife is going to be doing certain things, So this FBI agent, Jake Long, he kind of enters the picture at the end of the book because he inadvertently knows what she can do and kind of wants to use that part of her in possible cases that he can't solve on his own.
Okay.
So in the next book, Diet the Races, that is set around the Kentucky Derby. And he brings her in to go undercover with him. And she does, all these spells and things like that to figure out, who did what, that kind of thing. And she gets into some trouble there. But,
like
I mean, they're a lot of fun books, I had a great time researching the Kentucky Derby, which was really cool because, they're all about the hats. And that was one of the things that I had to have in this book is like where they went to shop for the hats and all this kind of stuff. So I also took like a virtual tour of Churchill Downs, so I could describe in depth, the inside of the place and that kind of thing. And then the third book in this series, I live in Georgia now.
Okay.
So we moved 2.5 years ago to Georgia. So Lake Lanier is here in Georgia, and it is one of the most haunted lakes in the country.
Okay.
Yeah. So my third book, Ava and Jake and Chris, they're in Georgia for a case here in Georgia, and it's set around Lake Lanier. So I did all the research for this, and the lake, I've been there, I've swam in it. It's been around since 1956, the lake. There's been over 600, 700 drownings now. And the history is very sad. There is a town underneath the lake.
Okay.
So this town, yes, I know. And you know what? This cemetery is still there. There's a race track still there. There's buildings, churches. I'm trying to think of what else was still there. I mean, literally a whole town under the lake. So in parts of this lake, it's 250 feet deep. So I've heard, I know there's so much folklore and stuff around this, this lake where people that survived the drownings or whatever have said that they felt like there were hands around their ankles pulling them down. So I was like, whoa, okay, I got to do something with this. So there comes Lion Lanier, my third book in Ava's series. So that one just came out last August. So it's almost a year old. And then I have my paranormal romance mystery, Visions of Murder. And that one's a standalone. That one is set in Flagstaff and Sedona, Arizona.
Okay.
And I used to live in Arizona. And Sedona was one of my favorite places. So I had to do something with that because it's so, it's hard to describe that part of Arizona. It's very new agey. Yes, yeah,
I've
yeah,
been there. I've
definitely,
been
yes,
there. It is
yeah,
like, mm-hmm.
yeah, very new agey, and the vortex, there's just a thing with that, around that area. Um, so the main character, Alexa, she's one of those who sees uh, visions of the future. They
Okay.
just they don't have sort of a date or time stamp on them. So when she gets a vision of her best friend's boyfriend being killed, this is very disturbing to her, and she doesn't know what to do with this information.
Mm-hmm.
So she's still in college, just finishing up, and she took a metaphysical science class. And it's the end of the semester. She decides to go to her professor and sort of explain, like, nobody knows about her little gift except for her best friend. So she, tells him the truth, this kind of thing, and what she's seen, and this kind of, and he's Native American. Okay, so Native Americans are very spiritual. They believe in a
Oh
lot of
yeah.
the spirit walking, this kind of thing, from way back.
Right.
So he kind of he's not even surprised at her, gift, and sort of takes her under his wing. Like, he knows that she might be a little more powerful than she thinks. So he teaches her how to do this whole spirit walking thing, and figures that she's trying to figure out a way that she can find out when this is going to happen, what's going to happen, and how she can stop it. So I give kind of people, I'm like, think of the movie Ghost with Patrick
Mm-hmm.
Swayze,
Yeah.
and he pulls all that energy and is able to hit something or throw something or that kind of thing.
Right.
So she
Okay.
learns to do this while she's spirit walking. She learns to move things or that kind of stuff. So it's just, it's kind of a fun, but it's also a romance. They kind of, get
Okay.
together, and they end up being pretty much soulmates. Like, they were born to be together, and there's just such a love there. And he just can't believe how talented she is. And um, I don't know. It was just, I had to write it.
You know what? I'm so excited because they just sound so incredible and fascinating. And I love how you took history, like actual history of this town, and brought it in there. I love that. That is actually one of my favorite authors. He became my favorite author because that's exactly what he does.
Hmm.
So, and I must apologize because I was clearly listening to you, but I did have my head down a bit. I was trying to send out links because I sent people the wrong ones, and they were blowing up, saying like, "What is going on? We want to watch." So,
Oh
my
gosh.
apologies, but
No, you're
yeah.
fine.
Okay, so your books are just incredible. Did you want to tell us about the third, or what would?
The what?
Okay, so it's okay. It's okay. I'm eager to ask you my next question, so
Yeah, go for it.
I'm gonna wait. So I want to know how you go about developing a character
Oh gosh. Yeah.
other than using your husband's persona
Right, right.
and his name.
No, like for say like Jake Long, my
Hmm.
FBI guy. I had a specific image in my head of what he was going to look like. You
Okay.
know, tall, dark, handsome, that kind of thing, but also kind of the silent and broody type, but underneath
Mhm.
that, he's, in his 40s, he's single, and he's stuck with Ava, for a while on his own, and he's getting this picture of him and or of Ava and her husband, and like, why doesn't he have that? So he has that. He has a heart in there, you know what I'm saying? He has like feeling, but he also has
Right.
a little bit of a sense of humor. And so I was just kind of mixing a couple different things together. But he definitely had to have like the broody attitude sometimes, very oh, how would I describe that? He's like, uh, the college football guy, everybody loved him, but then he went on to do his own thing, and
Mm.
never got into the serious relationship because the FBI is his life type of
Right.
thing. So I'm hoping after a couple more books that I kind of move him out of that, not so alone thing, and I bring somebody in to kind of like,
I I love how you talk about the characters like that, and that's how I always felt that an author would carry their characters. Like they give them the personality, they give them, and I would assume you have to go quite deep. It can't just be surface,
it
right?
can't be just surface. No, because like he has a past as well, why he became this FBI agent. And he, in this second book, because he's one of the main characters in the second book, Die at the Races, he actually goes and tells Ava why he became an FBI agent or a cop. He was a cop first, then the FBI agent second. Um, so he goes into the past, his past, and tells her why. And so that alone is kind of like a neat. His cousin was kidnapped. Okay,
Okay.
and so she was little at the time, and um, he had great instincts with the police. They were really kind of surprised that he thought of things that most people wouldn't think of. Like, was there a camera near the bus stop where she got off? Was there that this kind of thing? So he ended up actually helping in finding his cousin, and thankfully she was still alive. So, but
Oh,
yeah, so
okay. I'm
basically it
I'm
was,
just like
yeah.
I'm so intrigued. I
Yeah.
am. I'm like, oh my goodness sakes. Okay, so you go pretty deep developing your characters, and the thing is, when you write a book, like there's obviously not just two characters. Like
No,
everybody has this backstory. Everybody has like, especially that like it's not just like, oh, somebody came in from the supermarket. Like nobody
no,
can be,
just
everybody's
coming
got
in
to
and
have a bit
out.
of a depth. And oh my
Right.
goodness. So if you could pull one character out of your books to be your real life friend, who would you choose and why? And now you can't put Chris because
Oh,
it
no,
just off.
no. Oh, wow. Probably Jake, because
Oh, okay.
I would totally be able to be friends with that kind of person. Um, you're probably gonna laugh because before I started writing, I guess back in 2010, I decided I wanted to go to the police academy.
Okay. I'm not laughing. I'm
Um,
not. I love it.
yeah, I actually did. They had a special police academy for citizens, and you got to do and learn everything that police officers do, that criminal scene investigators do. So I got to learn to shoot,
Ooh.
which I do carry. I've had it for 10 years now. Um, I got to go on ride-alongs
Mm-hmm.
with the cops. We did like mock traffic stops. We did a mock crime scene. So I got to, pick up things, they planted things around like a house that was supposedly, um, there was a crime there, so we had to, be like a criminalist, and you had to go around
Right.
and search for clues, and put stuff in bags, like they would normally do like on the show or whatever. And then we got to do like a mock trial. I was one of like the character witnesses for the criminal crime scene unit in this mock trial. So
Wow.
it's just so interesting to me because that's one of the things I wanted, that background, so I knew what they did. And
Yeah.
yeah, so it was kind of neat that I, was able to learn all of that. So everyone just kind of looks at me like, well, you did what?
No, I love that. That's incredible. That is
it,
incredible.
it just kind of gave me a background, of what they did. And
Yeah.
yeah, because in the back of my mind, honestly, if I could have when I was younger, like I'm 52 now. So I think back when I was younger, if I would have known this then, I probably would have gone into like crime scene investigation, like science,
Mhm.
when I
Okay.
went to college instead of,
Uh, yeah.
yeah,
It is
instead of,
very interesting.
yeah, I know. So, oh well. So now
It's
I
very
just write about
detailed
it.
though.
Yeah.
Well, hey, you know what? And your readers appreciate it.
Yep. So now
right?
I just write about it. And
Well, hey, there's
so,
no just about that. It's important.
yeah.
As we can tell by people who are bookworms like myself.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I love any kind of, uh, how would you put it? Mysteries are my thing. I will read them like all day long. Um, but I also um, like the government conspiracy theory type thing that some people put in them. So yeah, but I also, one of my favorite authors is Janet Ivanovich.
okay,
Okay,
yeah.
and I think because she adds, her Stephanie Plum books, she's, a what do you call it? Oh my gosh. I can't even think of what she is now. I just totally went blank.
That's
But she
good.
puts a little humor in her books, and I
Yeah,
like
okay,
that,
yeah.
you know. Um, so I try it here and there with Ava, and Jake and Chris. I kind of add, that little humor into it,
Yeah.
just to lighten things up a little bit, not to be so serious the whole book, but
Right.
because that's not me. I'm not totally serious all the time.
Well, and that's good because in a little while we're
Yeah.
gonna get to do that too. Um, there we go. What is more interesting to you when you write? Narrative or dialogue?
Dialogue.
Mm, it's really
I
hard
will
for some
literally
people.
say it out loud as I'm writing, just to make sure it sounds the way I want it to sound. You know, I like doing that. I'd rather have it on like a first person, like you're talking or whatever.
Hmm.
But I will literally, yeah, I'll be as I'm writing it out, I'm saying it, just to
Hmm.
make sure it sounds the way it should or the way I want it to and the way it comes out. So I do
That's
rather like that.
nice. Yes. And you know what? Some people find dialogue very hard to manage. So
Yeah.
that's interesting. When you write, is the devil in the details or is it in the wonderment of what comes next?
Probably what comes next.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah.
Little cliffhangers, right?
Yeah. I'm kind of one of those like I plan out my book. I outline it for the most part. I've got papers with every character on it, that kind of thing. But when I'm typing, and I'm going along, sometimes I will go completely off the grid, and be like, "Oh, wait a minute. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, this is what's gonna happen." I'm like, "We're not doing this. We're gonna do this."
Right.
This sounds much better.
Much better, right?
Yeah.
Well, I love that because
This will freak
you know
people
you
out.
right.
Yeah.
You're not like we have to. This is great, but we have to scrap that because we're going back to the outline.
Right,
I
right.
like what you do. Yeah. Um. So, oh wait. I just about skipped the question. I like this one too. How do you build that needed emotional relationship between your characters and the reader?
I try to make like Ava is she's an everyday person. You know what I'm saying? She's a mom, she's a wife. Um she just has some extra talents on the side. But she is like every, other mom and wife out there. You know what
Mm,
I'm saying? And her relationship with her husband is just like other really they get into fights, but they love each other like more than anything. They would do anything for anybody, you know what I'm saying? Each other.
yeah.
Um, so I think that's, one of the things that I like about Ava. And I can relate to her because I made her out of kind of my personality
Right.
and stuff like that, and my relationship with my husband. So
Awesome. Awesome.
yeah.
My favorite authors. Okay, so Quentin's asking a question.
Oh,
He would
okay.
like to know your five favorite authors. So I'm going to say four because we already heard one, right?
Yes, Janet
One,
Ivanovich is
two,
one. Um,
right?
Rose Betancourt is another one. She writes a little bit mystery with some paranormal twist as well. So she and I get along really well. Lori Foster is one of my absolute favorites. Lori Foster, she lives in Southern Ohio, and she writes this one series that she wrote. One's called When You Dare, and it's a series about these guys who are basically like mercenaries, but they're on the side of good. They're kind of like they kind of skirt, the edge of honor is what she calls it, Um, but that whole series, the men who were on that, the edge of honor, um, I just love it. She brings these hunky guys who don't want anything to do with getting married or being attached to any woman, that kind of thing. But they will kick ass and just they do the right thing. They go after her main thing in these books is about human trafficking.
Right.
And they rescue women, from those bounds of human trafficking, and they go after these people. So you got to love that, anything to do. I am all for that. But she makes them lovable characters, like you love to hate them almost, like, come on, you want, this woman, that you just rescued or whatever, they put them in these situations that you can't help, not, to get
Wanting it
close.
for them.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. So she's one of my favorites. I love her. Um, yes, I did read the whole 50 Shades of Grey thing. E.L. James, I kind of liked her, I kind of like it, but I'm trying to think of who else I really read a lot of. I try to read a lot of different people, different genres. I go between like I like the whole military suspense with a little romance added into it. Um, I'm trying to think of what else. I mean, I try to kind of open my mind to a lot of different people. So,
I
goodness,
love it.
crap.
Okay.
I'm trying
So
to
I'm
think.
gonna do. No, it's okay. It's okay. I think you answered our question for us.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna just do one thing. So I just would like to welcome everybody to the room. If you're joining us live or if you're hitting the replay, we're here with author M.K. Stabley. She has 3 books out. We're super excited about interviewing her this evening. Um, I would like to welcome you to like and subscribe to our channel and hit the notification button. I'd also like to thank our producer, Quentin Ford, for always doing such a great job for us. So we're going to continue our interview. So I think you alluded to this before, but I'm just going to say, um, what are the other business ventures that you would like to let our audience know about?
Oh, I design specialty pens. I design hats. I also design wine stoppers and letter openers. I have my shop on Etsy, and I also do markets around town here. All of my stuff is in a shop here in Johns Creek, Georgia, called Johns Creek Books and Gifts. So they have um, my my wine stoppers, my pens, my letter openers, but they also have my books. So
Yes, that's
yeah.
the way to do it. Package deals.
Yes, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and they're great. It's a fun independent bookstore. Um, so they really embrace like local authors and stuff like that. Karen White, who's big, uh, you know, uh, best-selling author, she's from here, and I actually got to interview her.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
yes, yeah. Last year, I got to interview her on a podcast that I was doing with another author friend of mine, and so I do love her books too. They're a lot of fun. A lot of them take place around Charleston, South Carolina, and also New Orleans.
Okay.
So yes,
Oh,
hers are a little mystery with a bit of a ghost, type of twist to them.
okay.
So
And
they're
so do
really
you
neat.
want to let everybody? Do you want to
Yes.
let everybody know where they can find you as well? So if they're
Yes.
interested in your products, where they can find you?
Absolutely. I have an Etsy store. It is called Beaded Bougie Designs because, they're not expensive, but they are kind of bougie. And so that is on my Etsy shop. I also have my books on there as well as on my website, which is at authormkstabley.com. So, yeah.
And you can be found on Instagram as well?
Yes, I am on Instagram under author MK Stabley, and I'm on Facebook under the same thing. So you can find me everywhere. I'm on LinkedIn as well.
Okay.
So I'm all over.
You are. You can
I'm
be found
everywhere.
everywhere. That's
And
the
I
way to
have a
do it.
YouTube channel too. So
Good
so
to
that
know.
was, yeah, I was going to be starting my own podcast. Hopefully soon. It was going to be more, it's called Mandy Talks a Lot, which you can tell I do. But it was going to be more along the line of interviewing people that do things that I enjoy in life. I love to cook. I love to bake. I love photography. I love to travel and stuff like that. So that's kind of what I wanted to do. And I'm kind of I love fitness, and I wanted a couple people to come on that are over 50 that are fitness instructors, and I have a couple friends that do that. So I wanted to mainly make it so women who are, my age, what kind of fitness are we supposed to be doing now? Because it's definitely
Right.
different from when, I was in my 20s. I was a bodybuilder. I was training for bodybuilding, and today, with my age or whatever, you can't do that the same way
Right.
you would do back then. So that's kind of what I wanted to do, is bring her on and, you know, get her take on what we should be doing. So, and I have friends that own restaurants, so I wanted to get them on and figure out why, what made them take that leap to open the restaurant and do what they love. And I have friends that are professional photographers, so I kind of wanted to get them on, and because I do love photography. My dad got me into that, when I was little, and so that's just one of my things that I love to do. I take pictures of everything, as you probably know.
I do.
I mean,
I do.
travel, food, everything,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do know that. And that sounds like an amazing podcast. So you will keep us updated about that, and we will make sure that everybody knows.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So final question of the serious side. So name 3 people that you would like to pull out of history to have lunch with you and enjoy a good conversation with.
Oh, out of history. Okay. I love Audrey Hepburn is one of my favorite actresses. um, let's see. I feel like I should have been born back in like the 1950s, honestly, because I love that whole era, and even the 1920s, the Roaring 20s, the music, everything. I just kind of love that, and everything was so simple. I would love to just ask her, um, what made you want to do what you did, acting, singing, that kind of thing. She's just so regal, and just, but she doesn't try hard to do it. I don't think she never had to try really. She could have hardly any makeup on, and look stunning, so she's just one of those that I think she's kind of down to earth, and she was down to earth in a way. And I would have liked to have seen that in person.
Yeah.
And just kind of taken her, just taking it all in.
Okay, so that's one. You got 2 more.
I got 2 more. Gosh. Oh, this is a hard question.
kind of, but
It
you know, like
is.
it's not going to happen, so you don't have to like you don't have to worry about answering wrong.
um, let's see. Oh, an author, Edgar Allan Poe.
Ah, good choice.
I he writes dark, types of poetry, but I mean, I want to see what like I would want to see like kind of what was inside that mind of his, what made him write such deep, dark, things. That his writing just kind of intrigues me, like The Raven, like I love that kind of stuff, So yeah, definitely him. Definitely him.
I have a current poet that I'm going to send you tonight.
Oh, nice.
You're going to love him. You're going to love him. He's on IG, and he reminds me of Poe so much. It's
Really?
incredible.
Okay. Excellent. Excellent. All right. The next, let's see. I have to think about this. This one it's a good question and it's hard. Oh, wow.
That's okay. We'll give you a pass for it because we got some
I'm
good stuff
sorry.
coming up.
There's
Oh
just
no, don't worry
so
about
much
it.
going on in my head. I'm like thinking, who else would I really want to, talk to that was, that's probably dead now. But wow.
That's okay. That's okay. We're gonna
You stumped me.
formally. That's okay. That's okay. But you know what? I am gonna do this much. I'm gonna follow up with you about it.
Absolutely.
Another time, I'm gonna be like, so did you ever
So
think
did you
about that
figure
person?
out what that third
Right?
one
Yeah.
is?
Absolutely. So, with everything that we've talked about, is there anything now that we're ending the serious portion of our show? Is there anything that you would like our audience to know about you, or that I didn't ask that you were hoping that I would ask?
Um, hmm. I have decided I'm taking a hiatus right now from writing because it's just, I had the book that I'm writing called Of All the Fates. It's a romantic suspense. Um, it was writing itself for a long time. Like literally, I had no issue, it was just writing itself. And I promise it will come out. I was hoping it would come out by October 1st, but I doubt it'll be out by then. Just because my priorities have shifted a little bit right now with, the new puppy and stuff like that. So, and I wouldn't change that for anything. So
No, he's too cute.
she's yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Her name is Sophie. And she's like this little 3-pound, 5-ounce, ball of fur.
She's a little mop.
So
She's
she
adorable.
is, and my son's gonna be flying out here Friday.
Oh,
So
nice.
yes, he lives in Ohio and he's an accountant there. So he just graduated in December from Ohio State. So proud mom here.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
yes, so I get to see
Super
him on
fun.
Friday for a week. So
Yep, that'll take you out of writing for
it will.
another excuse for more time, and a good one.
I know. Yes, it's definitely a good excuse not to,
It is.
to write
It's
or
a great
anything.
excuse.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, we are going to move into the next portion of our show. And so our show's title is called Serious Shenanigans. So we did the serious portion. Now we're going to do some shenanigans. So yeah, it's just all easy going, fun. It's all for some laughs. So our first question is, as you spoke about, we know you have a dog.
Yeah.
If your dog could talk and I suppose read, would he or well, it's a she, so would she write you a good review about your books?
I tend to think that I tend to think that Sophie has a sarcastic attitude. so,
Mhm.
so that could go either way.
Uh-oh.
No, I'm just kidding.
Keep her
Um,
away from your keyboard.
I know, right? But yeah, I think she's sort of, yeah. It could go either way.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're liking that.
Yeah.
We like the answer. Sophie is sarcastic and keep her
Yeah.
away from reviews.
But
Okay.
she's got a cute personality though, so you gotta love her.
Gotta love her. We do. Those of us who've seen her, we
Who've
love
seen
her.
her? Yes.
Okay. What is a word that you will never use as an author? Like ever.
Ever. Yeah. Oh wow. Let's see. I try very hard not to use like words like flabbergasted.
Okay.
I don't know.
That's
That's just
I'm with you. That's a
yeah.
good word not to use, especially in a mystery.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
What is the worst song ever to you?
Worst song ever. Yeah, I'd have to say Sam Smith's new one.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. The one that was on the Grammys, I guess.
Okay.
It was,
Okay.
yeah, it's very hard to listen to. For me anyway.
All
For
right.
me.
I'm not familiar with it, but I'm probably with
Yeah,
you.
it's a little different, to say the least.
Now I'm gonna have to go check it out.
You're gonna have to check it out.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to. I might not listen to the whole thing, but at least I'm gonna get an idea of it.
Yeah.
What is the coolest sound that you can think of?
The coolest what?
The coolest sound that you could think of.
The coolest sound?
Yeah, like the neatest sound you've ever heard.
Let's see. I would say the coolest sound I've ever heard was me typing the end. That's my favorite thing. I'm typing and I'm going da, 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 da. The end.
Okay, well, you're gonna have to repeat that last part because I wanted you to make that sound for us right now.
Oh, the
There you go. And we think it's cool too. Name something that is invisible, but you really wish people could see.
that is invisible.
Mm-hmm.
My thoughts.
Mhm. All right.
Of course, they might go running away. I don't know.
I don't know, maybe. Well, we do give out like it's play stupid games, win stupid prizes. So for that, we have some invisible ink for your pens.
Nice.
Right? Shipping's not included. Okay, pizza debate. Pineapple or no pineapple?
No.
No.
No. I
All
can't
right.
do it.
Can't do it.
Can't
All
do
right,
it.
all right, all right. So we have this very enjoyable pizza for you. And again, shipping not included. And the reason why I know it was enjoyable.
It's because it's gone.
And we
That's
ate that,
awesome.
but it was there for you. So you
It
can have the
was there.
box. You can have the box as long as you pay the
Nice.
shipping.
As long as I pay
You're
the
welcome.
shipping.
Right. And is a hot dog a sandwich?
Yes.
Okay.
You put
I
it on
will.
bread
I know, right?
or a
I will
bun.
forevermore let people know you would like a
Yeah.
hot dog sandwich.
Yeah.
Um, so any of your friends who have like some casual dining at their restaurants, would you please encourage them to call it a hot dog sandwich?
Yeah. Next time we're in a
Thank you.
place that has them, I will.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
That means to me that it was time well spent.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is something that makes everybody look stupid when they're doing it?
I'd say trying to think of an answer for a question. Because I'm like, was that a wrong answer?
No, it was a good answer, and you do it very well.
Yeah.
Okay, you are now the founder of a secret society. Tell us what the society is all about.
Oh, founder of a secret society.
Doesn't that sound? I thought that
Let's
would
see.
intrigue
I'm
you.
thinking, yeah, we are a society that goes, oh gosh, I'm thinking. I have it like on kind of like the tip of my tongue here, what I want to say. Um, we're a society who goes. Oh my gosh, I don't even know if I could do this. We go after the old people who don't know how to drive. So
All right.
we just go and take their licenses.
He likes that. All right.
Yeah,
Well,
say it's past your driving time. Sorry.
right. Slow lane.
Yeah, they need an
Okay,
extra lane.
I like that answer. I might have to I might have to recycle that question because I really like your answer, and I want to see what other people come up with. So you go into the store with a sole purpose of purchasing 3 items that will make the clerk look at you sideways. What are you buying?
It'll look at me sideways.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Tampons, condoms, and ice cream.
That might do it. That I'm thinking. I was just gonna say, let's see what Quentin says, but he's like ding 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 ding. Okay.
That
If
was
you had
about
to
as
tell
outrageous as I could think.
Well, that's okay. That's okay. I had some other answers. I have recycled that question a few times because it's a
Yeah.
good one.
Yeah.
If you had to tell everybody that you were just released from jail, what would they suspect that you were in for? Quentin, get ready with the prize, please.
Oh, if I was just released from jail.
Okay.
Hmm.
So you're like, Chris, I just got out of jail and I'm on my way home. And he's like, what were you in for? And you're like, well, you guess. You tell me. And your mom and your dad, and like I don't know, but you know your family, your son's there, your dog's like,
Yeah.
what's going on here? Like everybody's your friends are over, and he's like, she just got out of jail, and they're like, what did
What
she
did
do?
she
We know
do?
what she did. They're like, we know what she did, and this is what they're gonna say.
Yeah. Oh God. I probably throat punched somebody. I don't that would try to cut in front of me.
All right, so you won a get out of jail free card, and it's maybe capped until you need it, or you can sell it. It's up to you.
I may need
You know,
that.
how it works for you when you go to use it, I don't know, and we're not responsible for.
Right.
But that's yours.
I may need it
So
because there's
I think
insane
a
people
lot
out
of
there.
old people driving around out there
Not just
apparently
the
that
old
need to be
people.
throat
Oh
punched.
my God. Some of these I probably would have throat punched a teenager,
Okay.
because they
And so
have
now
no filter.
that's very true. So
And
I'm
they're
just going to let you
so
know that you can do
self-centered.
that in your next book.
Yeah.
No worries. You can do it in your next
Yeah.
book. You can be
Okay.
like, you can build a character out of that teenager that you met that you were like, and it'd be
Yeah.
like, you don't have to use the card. You can save it for another occasion that you weren't
Yeah.
thinking might happen.
Yeah. I could never be a teacher in high school
Neither could I.
because I'd probably throw them out the window.
I could probably do a better job of being a teacher for young adults than I could for little children.
Yeah.
Honestly, like too many little children, I'd just be like, that's it. I lose my mind. I personally would get fired for what that. Same question about like going to jail. What do you think that if I said I was a teacher and I got fired, it would be like you swore at the kids, didn't you?
Now my husband would be like, you threw one out the window, didn't you?
Right. There you go. Okay. So last question, and I hope that you enjoy this as being an author. What fictional character is amazing in their book, show, or movie, so any genre that you want to pull from, but would be insufferable if you had to deal with them in the mundane, everyday situations?
Stephanie Plum.
Oh,
No question.
there you go.
I love her in the books, but I swear to God, I'm like, do you have zero common sense? Honest to God, I'd be like, seriously?
Right? Oh, I
Like, what
love
were you
that. And you came
thinking?
up with that like boom.
Oh,
Out
yeah.
of all the questions that I've asked you,
That
that
was
one
like,
you were like, bam! I got it. It was like a throat punch for me.
yeah,
All
bam.
right. So we are very, very generous here on Let's Talk Station. I routinely get in trouble after the guests have left for being so generous, but this is probably one of the best prizes that I have ever given out. I'm just saying. So you have won a copy of your book, which surprise, you already have.
I
So
already have.
thank you for playing. No shipping required.
Voila.
Just saying. There you go.
I got about 30 copies of my books.
But one of them's from us.
Yes.
Well,
awesome.
we really enjoyed having you here tonight. It was an absolute pleasure to finally catch up with you and actually do something with you where we got to spend some time like really interacting and
I know. This was
learning more
fun.
about your books. It was lots of fun for me as well. So I'm super happy that that you could find the time and I know we tried
Absolutely.
to do things before and it just was like, oh, not available at both of us,
I
right?
know.
And then this one, it was like this date, you're like, yeah, I got it. And that was like, oh,
Yep.
so,
I just put it in the calendar. I'm like, yep, we can do this.
and here we are.
And here we
And
are.
the time just went by so quickly, but it was
It did.
absolutely beautiful, beautiful.
Oh, I had a great
So,
time.
oh, I'm so glad to hear that. So what we're
Thank you
gonna
for
do
having
is,
me.
oh, you know what? The pleasure is all ours, honestly. What we're gonna do is when our producer upstairs there, when he solidifies this and gets it all published, the link that I sent you to send friends will become the replay, so you
Okay.
can share that out and you
Perfect.
can watch it like it's right away. But also, you're more than welcome to come back in the comments and just put down like where people can find your books, like all those things, and for your other ventures as well, so that way, if people are watching and they're like, "Hi, I didn't catch that," and
Hmm.
they can just find it in the
Oh, yeah,
comments
yeah.
because yeah. So, but we do hope that
Perfect.
you'll come back one day,
I would love to.
yeah, and then we can hear about book number 4. You can say, "I finished those now. I'm on
Yeah.
hiatus from book like number
Right.
7 and 8, right?"
Well, book 4 in Ava's thing is going to be set around like Formula One racing, like Grand Prix type racing. So
Ah,
I'm
that
excited
sounds
about this one.
right.
Yeah.
I'm very excited. I know that I have been not able to make some of the book purchases that I had wanted to over the last while because I was constantly in transit, and now that I'm like really settled, like, and I mean like this is like cement on my feet, settled. So
Aw,
I have just started to be like getting a hold of some people that I know saying like I'd like to buy your book now. So we are going to
nice.
get in contact and I'm going to send you that poet that I told you about as well.
Oh,
So,
thanks.
yeah. All right,
Awesome.
everybody. Once again, M.K. Stabley, author. Wonderful interview, in my opinion, anyways. I just loved having her
Oh,
and connecting with
thank
her.
you.
So, yes. And so, do make sure that you like and subscribe to this channel, hit the notification bell. This channel has so many different shows. I don't even know them all. So, if you hit the notification bell, you're sure to get apprised of all of them. And you don't have to wait for me to tell you what they are because I don't know. So, Anyways, we're signing off now. So good night and thank you so much for watching.